What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
This is the OPS pregame report.
We are live from Homestead High School as we get set for tonight's boys basketball matchup between the Homestead Spartans and Peru Tigers. Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined alongside Chris Kohrman and our sideline reporter, Jenna Lane, as we're about 8 minutes away from tip-off of tonight's matchup. And 8 days ago, Homestead, they took on the Northside Legends in an SAC matchup here at Spartan Arena on senior night. And senior Luke Goody and Illinois signee put up a career 41 points on 10 made threes, which is a school record as the Spartans rolled to a 107-61 win over the Legends.
Big night there for Luke Goody on senior night, putting up 41 points. You want to show out on senior night, of course, it's the night dedicated to you and the other seniors, and Luke Goody definitely showed out, put up 41 points and then breaking that school record with 10 made threes. You know, what an accomplishment that night for Luke Goody and then the Homestead team overall.
Yeah, just a fantastic night. 10 of 16 from beyond, 12 of 22 overall, 41 points. It broke a record that stood for 31 seasons. Just a great night for Luke Goody. And Homestead, a huge win over number 1 Lawrence North last Saturday night, 55-50 in overtime. As Metro William put up 27 points in 6 points to the Spartans to their biggest win of the season.
This was a really fun game to call. Fletcher Lawyer stood out in that game, putting up 27 points, 6 made threes, like you said. Fletcher Lawyer definitely stood out in that game. Came down with in the fourth quarter, late in that game, drew a foul, and then which led to the Homestead victory there in overtime, keeping them in that game. So Fletcher Lawyer definitely stepped up in that big game.
And with that win over Lawrence North, Homestead, they're now the number 1 ranked team in both the coaches and the media poll this week.
That never happened for Homestead. Never been, number 1 in all these polls. Homestead did that this year by beating Lawrence North. That was definitely a really good team that Homestead had to face a lot of adversity in that game, being down late, coming out with that overtime victory. Definitely a statement win for Homestead.
Not only that, but they find themselves ranked number 16 in the nation according to Max Preps. That's a huge accomplishment for Homestead, getting national attention along with being number 1 in the state.
Yeah, whenever you're number 16 in the country, you're definitely making a statement. Like we said last night, they're above La Lumiere, the standout private school in Indiana, and guess what? They're above them. So Homestead definitely a really good team this year.
And we're just getting started in the pregame report. Ahead, we take a look at Homestead in last night's game against Northrop, as well as break down the visiting Peru Tigers. We'll be right back.
Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS pregame report.
Welcome back to the OPS pregame report. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined by Chris Kohrman. We're now about 5 minutes away from tip-off of Homestead versus Peru. And last night, Homestead took on the Northrop Bruins in an SAC matchup and got the win 83-53. For the first time all season long, teammates Luke Goody, Fletcher Lawyer, and Grant Simmons all had 20-plus points in a single game.
It's a great game last night by Homestead, sharing the ball well. That's definitely something that got to look forward to come postseason time. Homestead's got to be able to share the ball. Don't want it being just one player standing out. So anytime you're sharing the ball like that, Homestead's going to be tough to beat.
And those players really dominated the entire game, scoring 69 of Homestead's 83. It was really all about that trio.
Yeah, it definitely is. Scoring 20-plus with 3 players. Got to be all about them. Luke Goody standing out 25 points, and Lawyer adds 24. Simmons in there with 20. So Homestead definitely a standout night from that trio.
And with that SAC victory over Northrop, Homestead now moves to 6-0 in conference play ahead of Carroll. And below that, it's a 4-way battle for third between Dwenger, Snyder, Northside, and Southside, who are all 3-3 in the conference.
Carroll played Snyder last night. Snyder was up in that game by 10 at one point. Carroll had to fight their way back into that game. Carroll won late by 2 points, I think. So Carroll came out on top in that game, which means when Homestead plays Carroll, as long as none of them loses from now until then in conference, that game's going to mean a lot to the SAC.
Yeah, that was a gigantic win for Carroll over Snyder, especially since for a while it looked like Carroll was going to end up losing that game, but because they won, they're now favored to win the SAC. Huge accomplishment for the Chargers. And this Peru team, moving on to the Tigers, they're now 13-1 on the season, and were one of the last unbeaten teams in the state before falling to Frankfurt 62-60 on January 22nd. The Tigers, they're currently ranked number 13 in Class 3A. However, they do not have one of the weaker schedules in the state, coming in with the 287th toughest schedule in the state. For comparison, Homestead has the 13th toughest schedule in Indiana. None of Peru's wins have come over a top 64 team in the state.
We talked about the Homestead trio. Well, Peru has a duo. Their duo is tough to beat. They got Kane Townsend, and then you got Matt Ross in there. Those two players definitely the stands out for Peru. They can move the ball around. They can shoot the ball lights out. So that's a duo that Peru has that definitely leads them into these victories and leads them to that 13-1 record.
Yeah, but that 13-1 record, certainly not one of the strongest in the state. In fact, out of 399 teams, they're 287th. Meanwhile, Homestead, they have faced a whole lot of tough competition, including top 5 teams in SAC ratings out of Blackhawk Christian and Carroll. So definitely the tale of two different paths to these two teams' fantastic records, 30-1 combined.
Well, Coach Johnson definitely puts emphasis on loading up his schedule. He wants to play those tough teams just to, prove that Homestead can compete with the teams down the stretch and even in the postseason.
Yeah, and this is certainly a game where Peru, they're trying to just prove themselves because a lot of people are noticing the teams that the Tigers have been playing. Only 2 4A schools that they have gone up against. There's not a lot of people impressed by Peru, even though they're 13-1 and number 13 in Class 4A. Really, this is a game where they're just looking to show up and prove to the entire state that they belong in the top of Class 3A.
Yeah, definitely. They want to prove themselves. They want to prove who they are and prove that, we can't compete with these tougher teams, so we're going to see what happens today with that.
Yeah, and Homestead, meanwhile, they don't really have to prove to anybody who they are. Number 1 in Indiana, pretty much unanimously. They find themselves at number 1 in Sagarin in the Coaches Bowl, in the 4A AP poll. They just find themselves at a perfect situation, 17-0. Really their closest games coming against Cathedral in double overtime and Lawrence North in overtime, all against top 10 teams in Sagarin ratings. Homestead, they've proven themselves compared to Peru.
Well, Homestead's played a tough schedule. They beat Lawrence North. Like you said, they beat Cathedral. They beat Blackhawk, and Blackhawk was a big win, double-digit win for Homestead. So they proved themselves in that aspect. And when they're moving the basketball and they got 2 to 3 guys shooting really well, they proved that they can be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, Peru's going to have a tough time on the defensive end guarding Luke Goody and Fletcher Lawyer. They really can control the entire game with their lights-out three-point shooting. That's really what we saw last night against Northrop, where the Bruins just could not stop that offensive onslaught. Peru, they're going to have to find a way to do that tonight.
Well, no matter how good you shoot against Homestead, you got to find a way to stop them on defense. They shoot the ball really well, so no matter how good you're shooting for your team, you got to find a way to beat Homestead.
And we're going to go to a quick break, but stay tuned. Tip-off coming up between Homestead and Peru right after this.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
Another Saturday night, Indiana High School basketball brings the 2-1 Peru Tigers into Homestead High School. Coming off a win over Northrop last night, the number 1 boys team in the state will be looking to add one more to their undefeated streak. The Tigers are looking to stir up their rankings and add a non-conference win to their schedule. Coming up, it's Peru at Homestead.
Saturday night high school hoops bring us to Spartan Arena for an out-of-conference clash between the Peru Tigers and the Homestead Spartans. In the AB Bowl, Homestead, they're on top, number 1 in Class 4A after a win over Lawrence North. Hello everyone, I'm Brayden Carroll, joined alongside Chris Kohrman as we get set for tip-off. And Chris, which Spartan will you be watching tonight?
Well, I think got to look at Luke Goody. Had a standout game last night and then had a standout game the game before that. So Luke Goody, definitely the hot hand for Homestead, coming off a big senior night win as seen right there. Then last night had a big game too. So Luke Goody, definitely the hot hand for Homestead.
And Homestead, they come into tonight's game undefeated this season with impressive wins over several ranked teams.
Well, yeah, playing tough schedule. Lawrence North, Blackhawk Christian, Cathedral. All those teams Homestead has played and Homestead has beaten. So I think it's all about proving themselves, and Homestead has done that this year.
The head coach, Chris Johnson, he's in his 22nd season in the Spartan program. Couldn't be more excited to see where future Big Ten stars Fletcher Lawyer and Luke Goody take them this season.
Yeah, definitely going to be exciting for them.
Yeah, and taking a look at the starting lineups for Homestead. Fletcher Lawyer, the guard, with Caleb Colpin, Luke Goody, Andrew Leeper, and Grant Simmons at the forward. And for Peru, Cade Townsend, Matt Ross, Matthew Rucker, Trayton Curris, and Cash Beller, the starters. And our officials tonight are Justin Snippy, Bob Childers, and Brett Radcliffe. Peru wins the tip-off, and they will have the first possession of tonight's game. Should be interesting to see how this one begins. He's passing it around and ends up with Matt Ross down low. He gets the first basket for the Tigers. A pretty way to start the game for the Tigers offense.
Peru coming out, showing that they can get down low, get a bucket early for Peru, so Homestead got to find an answer for that.
And on the defensive end, just as aggressive, almost forced the turnover. Homestead retains possession, though. They're going to have to control their turnovers if they want to have a successful night against the 13-1 Tigers. Lawyer open, thought about the shot. Passes out to Goody, he's in the corner, step back three, swish! Luke Goody starts off the scoring for the Spartans with a shot from beyond. He's up to 3 points, it's 3-2 now.
Like I said, Luke Goody, definitely the hot hand Homestead, so look for him to continue that tonight. Already starting off with a 3.
Now it's Peru running things on the offensive side. Townsend stuck. Great defense from Goody. Forces a shot up off the backboard. No good. Ends up out of bounds. They'll say it was off of Homestead, so it's going to stay with the Tigers.
Peru going to get a second chance opportunity here after ball goes out of bounds. So if you're Peru, you want to take advantage of these second chance opportunities.
So now Peru out of the inbound. A sloppy pass will end up with Luke Goody. First turnover for Peru. And Goody ends up with it on the other end. So 5-2 now. Homestead up 3.
Luke Goody doing a good job there getting down in transition. Something we saw last night was Homestead getting these transition points.
And three-pointer for Peru falls as Cade Townsend in the corner. The 13 points per game averaging senior puts Peru in a tie game, 5-5. Now Homestead on the offensive end. Lawyer gets the handoff, takes a deep 3 around the rim and out. Rebounded by Matt Ross, Peru ball. Quick down the court are the Tigers. Looking to take the lead. Beller has it, thought about the 3. Passes cross court and Lawyer intercepts it. Now Homestead on the fast break. Goes inside, layup no good. Rebounded by Leeper and his shot up and in. The putback by Andrew Leeper. Homestead reclaims the lead.
Leeper has couple tough games for him previous to this game, so Leeper got to find his groove and started off right there.
And Peru hits a shot on the other end, no good. It off the backboard. So now Homestead quick down the court, almost a turnover, and it ends up in the hands of Townsend. That'll be a Homestead turnover. Peru now on the offensive end. Working the mid-range as Rucker passes out to Townsend. Stuck in the corner. Rucker with it again at the top of the key. Passes to Curtis. Works Lawyer, goes inside and got the lucky roll. Drayden Curtis getting his first bucket of the game. Once again, a tie game, 7-7. Now Homestead on the offensive end. It's Simmons who has it from beyond. Drives inside, down low pass to Leeper. His layup good. A great offensive connection between Simmons and Leeper. Ends in a bucket.
Simmons definitely does a good job creating the opportunities down low for Homestead, then finds a way to get to Leeper down low, and Leeper finishes it.
A fantastic offensive play right there. Just a great assist. And a timeout called by Coach Thompson after Homestead reclaimed the lead on that last possession.
Homestead brought the press defense right there.
And Homestead Media is your source for the latest Homestead news, athletics, and more. Tune in every Friday to HHS In Depth for stories that affect our community and school. And check out future HHS live broadcasts for your #1 source for Homestead athletics. Just search Homestead Media on YouTube. And looking at your FWO keys to the game, Homestead, they're going to need to stay focused and not overlook this legend team for tomorrow's matchup against Lawrence North. Peru has it out of the inbound. He's looking to run things on the offensive end, try and tie this game up, or take the lead with the 3, and he'll end with a steal instead. That's Kolping forcing it. And on the other end, he takes a layup down low with the contact and one for Caleb Kolping.
Kolping doing a nice job there, transition. It's what we saw last night and previous to these games. Homestead finding their way to get points in transition. Caleb Kolping definitely finishing a bucket right there for Homestead.
Fantastic play out of the timeout by Caleb Kolping on the defensive end, getting steal. And on the offensive end, goes to the line, gets an and one for Homestead. Now it's 12-7. Peru looking to respond after the great defense, offensive series by the Spartans. Down low, Beller has it out to Townsend. Finds Curtis from beyond, no good. Rebounded by Goody. Homestead ball now. drive inside, passes out to Leaper. Extra pass to Lawyer for 3, no good. Offensive rebound by Kohrman. Shot block, grabs it again. So now Homestead with it at the perimeter. Goody goes inside, and a foul called on the way up. So Goody going to the line for 2 free throws.
Good job there by Caleb Kohrman, finding a way to get Homestead some more efforts there, getting the rebound, then trying to put it back up and pass it out to Luke Goody, giving him an opportunity.
Yeah, we know Homestead, they love to be aggressive on the offensive end, and that's what they've done so far. Already 13 points just over halfway through this first quarter. Second free throw coming up for Luke Goody. And that's 2 of 2 at the line for the Illinois commit senior forward. 14-7 now. Homestead starting to extend their lead in this first quarter. Curtis has it from beyond for Peru. Pass to Beller. He takes a 3 between the rings. Got it. That's Cash Beller for 3. 14-10 now. Peru halting the Homestead run. Now Homestead with it. Goody at the baseline, passes out to Leaper, a pretty pass, shot no good. Goody gets the rebound, takes a jumper at the free throw line. This time it's Peru who rebounds after the Goody miss. Curtis will take it across the court. Double teamed, and they'll call a foul on Homestead. So we'll go to Peru, and Homestead, they're at the top of the 4A media poll as well as the coaches poll and Sagarin computer rankings. Spartans, they're looking for a second state title in school history. They definitely have a shot this year. It won't be easy though. 8 out of the top 10 teams in the state have 1 loss or more and are undefeated. 2 of these teams shown here, Carmel, Lafayette, Jeff, should be in the same regional as Homestead, and South Bend Adams, who are also undefeated. They should be in the semi-state of the North. Not looking ahead, but the road to a 4A title is absolutely loaded this year.
It definitely is. Like I said, two of those teams Homestead will see in the regional, so got to be some tough opponents.
Yeah, Homestead, they're 3-0 against these teams this year so far, so they've really proven themselves, but it's only going to get tougher as March draws closer. Now Peru with it on the offensive end, 16-10. Double teamed from the arc as Rucker passes out to Curtis. And when he finds Beller wide open, takes a 3, swish, another 3-pointer for Cash Beller. He's at 6 points. He has 2 3-pointers tonight for the Tigers. 16-3. Peru cuts it to a 1-possession game again. Goody finds the Lawyer from beyond, open 3. Lawyer responds in the corner with a 3-pointer of his own. He's up to 5 points. 19-3 now. 13.
The one player you don't want to leave open when you're playing Homestead is Fletcher Lawyer, and Fletcher Lawyer always find a way to be open. Right there, he finds a way and hits the corner 3.
So now Peru, they're looking to respond to Lawyer with the 3-pointer by Beller again from beyond the arc. It's Cash Beller. He has 9 points. What a fiery first quarter for the 6'4" senior. Simmons, reverse layup, no good. Homestead offensive board. Ball in the air, up for contention, and a foul called in the scrum for the ball. That one's on Homestead, so Peru will have it underneath the basket. They will call that one on Fletcher Lawyer.
Substitutions into the lineup for Homestead for Quinn
Harmon's checking in for Andrew Lieber. For Homestead, and Cash Beller, who's coming off a 9-point first quarter, hits the bench. What a role he's played in keeping this one close so far, 19-16. Now Peru out of the inbound. Robbins has it guarded by Lawyer. Passes to Rucker. Maybe slowing things down here with half a minute left in the first. Curtis in the paint, passes out to Rucker again. Loses his footing and somehow kept the dribble, so he gets to go right back up. Now Curtis within, he might just hold it. In the corner between the sideline and the half-court line. Looking for a 3-pointer to head into the second with a tie game. Ross with it. Passes out and Lawyer intercepts it. He's going to get a shot up. No good. Off the rim, and we will end the first quarter 19-16. Homestead up. Been an action-packed one so far. You'll want to stay tuned.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back after one quarter of play, 19-16, Homestead up. And so far, despite it only being one quarter of play, it's been a fiery game. And yesterday, also a fiery game, 20 of 19 for Homestead. Really, both teams just throwing their shots up so far. Right now, it's been all offense, though, between these two squads. Cash Beller for Peru, he's got 9 points, all of them coming from beyond the arc. One possession game heading into the second quarter play. Lawyer has it between the rings, passes to Kolpin, out to Simmons. Down low, Goody has it now, finds Lawyer wide open, he takes a three. Fletcher Lawyer from beyond the arc, 22-16 now, 8 points for Fletcher Lawyer.
Fletcher Lawyer definitely the hot hand for Homestead right now. Anytime he's left open, he's always hitting those 3 balls for Homestead. So he does a great job of adding, a sense of presence on offense for this Homestead team.
And it's now a 6-point game. He's really been doing a lot so far in this one. 8 points, a great start. And speaking of a great start, Cash Beller has it. And it ends up in a turnover. Fletcher Lawyer once again intercepting the pass. Kolpin down low, hesitates and draws contact on the way up. Caleb Kolpin going to the line for 2 free throws.
Again, Caleb Kolpin not afraid to get down low and draw a foul. Second time he's done that today, getting down low and able to draw a foul.
Yeah, Caleb Kolpin, he's done a great job this season. 68% at the free throw line. This is that first free throw. Rucker coming in for Matt Ross for Peru. Only substitution during this trip to the line. Caleb Kolpin, second free throw. Swish. 1 of 2 at the line for Caleb Kolpin. Homestead extends their lead 23-16. Now Peru in control on the offensive end. Robbins with it, guarded closely by Harmon. And the pass to Curtis rolls out of bounds. Another Tiger turnover.
Homestead 3 of 5 from 3. Peru 4 of 7 from 3. So both teams definitely like the 3-ball early on in this game.
And right now they're both successful right now from beyond the arc. 50% or above 50% both these teams. Homestead up the court. Caden Kalpawiki out there, and that's a turnover. Curtis has it for Peru. Passes out to Townsend, takes a 3, no good. Lawyer with the rebound, and he's fouled for the fight for the ball. That is the second foul for Cade Townsend.
That's the one player for Peru you don't want to see fouled. He does a great job creating opportunities on offense for Peru. So Townsend getting in foul trouble, definitely not a good thing for Peru.
Yeah, 13 points per game for the 5'10" senior guard. Very important player to this Tiger team. They just cannot have him in foul trouble, especially this early in the game. Caden Kalpawiki taking it up the court for Homestead. Simmons takes it, almost a turnover. Harmon down low, shot no good. Leaper offensive board, and the putback goes for Andrew Leaper. Some more points in the paint for number 22. He's got 6.
Good job there by Leaper getting down low, getting a rebound, putting it back up. Leaper had a couple tough games recently, so it's good to see him getting back and getting going.
And he's already off to a fast start with 6 points in one half of play. Good to see him back at it, having a great game so far. Peru with it now. Curtis at the baseline almost stepped out. That's a turnover on the Tigers. And the .91 FM is your alternative music source. Tune in on 91.1 FM worldwide at WCYT.org or on the .91 FM app. Now Homestead has it out of the turnover. Lawyer going to take it across the timeline for the Spartans. Working the inside, finds Kalpuiki open. Pass to Goody, he takes a three. No good off the front of the iron. Peru with the board. Rutgers gonna take it for the Tigers. Pass to Curtis. Taking their time at the perimeter. Ross has it and off the leg of Andrew Leeper as the pass goes out of bounds.
Peru having to slow things up here. Can't really find anything on offense.
Yeah, very tight defense from Homestead so far. Not leaving anybody open.
Just saw Leeper right there with the layup. A good layup by him, like we said, getting back into it.
And Peru, they'll take a layup. Matt Ross, no good, but the putback by Matthew Rucker. Peru once again getting some points in the paint, 25-18 now. Homestead on the offensive end. Goody wide open, takes a three. No good, in and out. Offensive board by Quinn Harmon.
Good offensive board right there for Quinn Harmon, getting a Homestead the second chance opportunity there on offense.
Quinn Harmon in the board doing some work down there. Foul called on Peru. That'll be on Cash Beller. His first of the game, so inbound at the sideline for Homestead. Quinn Harmon with it, passes to Leeper. Down low, Lawyer wide open, and he got the layup. Great feed from Andrew Leeper. Found Fletcher Lawyer wide open down low. Now Peru working on the offensive side of things. Curtis with it. Drives inside, layup over Kalpuiki, and he got it with the contact. That's Brayden Curtis going to the line for the and one.
Tough foul there to take by Caden. Not a whole lot of contact there, but official calls it. So Peru's going to get the and one.
He's up to 4 points. Good start for the 6'1" senior. Gets the layup to fall, so and one. 3-point possession for the Tigers. Homestead looking to respond now. And ahead on the OPS halftime report, we will send things down to sideline reporter Jenna Lane for a first half interview with Coach Johnson. Then we'll break down stats and stars from the first half, as well as take a look at the latest headlines in the SAC. It's all coming up on the OPS halftime report. Homestead gained some points on that last offensive possession. So now it's Peru running things. Down low, Curtis. Stuck, takes a contested shot, no good. Rebounded by Leeper, Homestead ball. Kalpuiki with it. Caden Kalpuiki, that is. Now Goody takes a shot and one for Luke Goody. Gets the contested bucket, and he's going to the line.
Peru just had their chance at the and one. Now Homestead's going to get their chance. Luke Goody going down low and drawing the and one.
9 points for Luke Goody. He's got 9. Fletcher Lawyer with 10. And Luke Goody, he has these kind of games often. Had a fantastic season.
Yeah, definitely have a fantastic season. 41 points against Northside on senior night. That was a spectacular game.
Yeah, he's also got 20.9 points per game. Just really proven himself during his senior year. And he's now got double digits for Homestead. 10 points along with Fletcher Lawyer, who has 10. Peru now with it after the bucket and foul and one for Luke Goody. Townsend takes a mid-range shot, blocked by Lawyer. Don't see him often getting a hand on the ball, but it'll turn into Homestead ball now. Lawyer at the perimeter, dribbling it around. Simmons gonna take a shot, no good. The mid-range jumper off the iron, now Peru ball. Oh, tight defense from Kohrman as he went to the ground, and Townsend hits the three in the corner for Peru. 32-24 now. Townsend up to 6 points. Now Homestead with it. Lawyer finds some space inside, takes a jumper in the paint, no good. Simmons with the putback, tipped in by Grant Simmons. Double-digit lead once more for the Spartans. So now Peru has it, looking to respond. Matt Ross lost the footing, passes down low to Curtis. Tight defense from Homestead and a foul called. Curtis, contested shot, they'll call it a foul. He's going to the line for 2 free throws. Curtis, he is having a solid game so far. 5 points. Looking to cut into the Homestead lead. Gets that first one to fall.
A tough call there by the official. Didn't see much contact. Looked like Homestead defense armed straight up, but official still calls the foul, so tough foul there for Homestead.
There's some swarming defense from Homestead. Drew the contact. 1 of 2 at the line. Trading Curtis's, so now Homestead with it. Lawyer between the rings. Now Kohrman with it. Homestead maybe slowing things down a little bit on this possession. Goody finds some wide open space at the mid-range. His jumper, few bounces off the iron, no good. Peru with it now. Townsend from beyond takes a 3 off the front of the rim, no good. Goes out of bounds, they'll say it's off Homestead. All right, now Peru trying to cut further into Homestead's lead that they built up, in a inbound to Ross. His shot no good. Ball goes out of bounds. This time they'll say it was off of the Tigers, so now Homestead ball.
Homestead going to get the opportunity here. Peru makes a mistake right there, and then Homestead going to find a way to capitalize off of that, go down and get a bucket.
Now Homestead taking things over. Simmons a spin inside, passes to Goody. Now Kohrman with it. Gives it to Lawyer. Slowing things down. At first they were a little aggressive on that offensive possession. Now Kohrman with it. Gives to Leaper. Finds Lawyer down low, and the easy layup from Fletcher Lawyer. Once again, that's Andrew Leaper and Lawyer connecting for an easy bucket in the paint.
Homestead not afraid to go down low and try and make a play that gets him open down low, and right there they got one.
And there's Lawyer on the defensive end. Playing aggressively, tips the ball out. So far, he's had a great first half. 12 points for Fletcher Lawyer, and he's getting in there, forcing a few steals on the defensive end. Now Curtis has it for Peru. Gives to Rucker. Inside to Beller, who's been having a great game. Takes a shot over Leaper, no good. Rebounded by Beller. He takes a shot in the paint, also missed. And now Homestead with it after 2 misses by Cash Beller. He's looking for and Peru's looking for a steal on the other end. Couldn't quite get it. Goody has it. Pass to Lawyer. He takes a 3 over Beller. Swish by Fletcher Lawyer. With half a minute left in the second quarter, he gets up to 15 points with that 3.
Lawyer definitely the reliable one here on the Homestead Spartan team. They do a great job getting him open, find a way to make a crisp pass to him, and then he sinks it.
Now Peru with it. They might just hold for the final shot, unless they get an open one like they have with Rucker. No good. Ball around. Now Homestead with the rebound. Simmons gets it, takes a 3. Swish. Grant Simmons going to end the first half with the 3-pointer. So we head into the break. Homestead up 42-25. And we're going to kick it down to Jenna Lane, who's with Coach Johnson after 1 half of play. Jenna?
Thanks, Brayden. I'm here with Coach Chris Johnson, and Peru got hot late in the first quarter, but the Spartans were able to extend the lead in the second quarter. How would you assess your team's play in the first half?
Well, I think on the defensive end, we're doing a good job. We're holding the team to 25 points. We're struggled a little bit as far as with their switch and man-to-man defenses, but hopefully we'll get it figured out in the second half.
Thank you so much. Brayden, back to you.
Thank you, Jenna. So far, been a great start to this game as they find themselves up 17. We're going to go to a break, but stay tuned for the OPS halftime report.
Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
And welcome to the OPS halftime report as we get a fresh look at the first half. Homestead up 42-25 after a solid start, especially on the offensive end. Yesterday they were on pace for 100 against Northrop. We're at 50 points after one half of play. Now they're at 42 with a fast start against the Tigers.
Homestead shooting 53%. Field goals overall, so you got to be happy with that, shooting above 50%. 50% from three, that's all right, but one thing I always look at is the turnover battle. Spartans are up 7-2 in the turnover battle. Anytime you're up in the turnover battle by 5 or more, you're setting yourself up for a win. Homestead doing that tonight.
And you have to credit Fletcher Lawyer, who's been doing most of the work at forcing those turnovers. He's been intercepting, I think it's 3 passes so far that he's gotten in the way of and able to get a paw in it, and it's really caused a lot of havoc for the Tigers.
Yeah, it definitely has. Lawyer getting in there, playing aggressive on defense, and then the rebounds. That's definitely a big one, too. Homestead getting in there and getting the rebounds, getting themselves a couple second chance opportunities.
Yeah, 17 rebounds for the Spartans and still in the single digits in the rebound area for the Tigers. That's also definitely impacting the play for Peru as they find themselves down 17 after one half of play.
Yeah, definitely Peru needs to get down low, get more aggressive, and find themselves getting a couple more rebounds. Definitely need to play more aggressive if you're Peru.
Yeah, they weren't necessarily having a bad first half. I mean, Cash Beller was having a solid start as he's at 9 points, almost at double digits for the Tigers. They just could not slow down Homestead.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like that's what happens every time someone plays Homestead. Homestead just finds a way. Their offense just clicks, and then it just gets going no matter how good you're playing.
And now let's look at the star Spartans from the first half. It was really all about Fletcher Lawyer and Luke Goody as those two having a strong start. 15 points for Fletcher Lawyer and 10 for Luke Goody.
Combining for 25 points right there. If it's just Lawyer and Goody, this is a tie game right now. But, you add in the other Spartans. But Lawyer, Goody, they take over every game. They're taking over right now.
Yeah, Fletcher Lawyer, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. And Luke Goody, he's also shooting quite the game as he's at 3 of 8 from the floor. 3 of 3 at the free throw line. Really, those two getting the job done on the offensive side for the Spartans.
Yeah, Homestead shooting 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Overall as a team, you got to be able to shoot the free throws down low. You got to be able to shoot them well, and that's definitely something that's going to come back when it comes postseason time, late in the games. You got to be able to hit the free throws. Homestead does a good job of that most of the time.
And we've also been talking about Andrew Leeper, who's been in kind of a funk in the last couple games, but he finds himself in a great situation right now with 8 points.
Yeah, he definitely does. 8 points, finally getting back into it. That's what he needs to do. Find his groove, get back into it, and after a tough couple games, you want to be able to get back involved, and Leaper's doing that tonight.
And we still have plenty to talk about in the OPS Halftime Report. Coming up, we take a look at news in the SAC as well as break down the remaining games for both teams. Stick around. More basketball action coming up on Homestead Live.
Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
And welcome back to the OPS Halftime Report. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined by Chris Kohrman. 42-25 your score after one half of play with Homestead holding the advantage. And we're going to look at some news in the SAC. First off, on the girls' side of things, Carroll, they are the first team other than Homestead to win the conference since it expanded in the 2015-2016 season.
And it definitely wasn't an easy path for Carroll. Overcame a big deficit last night against Snyder. I believe they were down 14 points in that game against Snyder, had to fight their way back. I saw after the game, Coach Redding went up to the Snyder coach, paid his respects because he knows how good that Snyder team is coming up.
Yeah, a fantastic game that we saw last night. And Carroll, they really deserved it this season. 16-2, top 10 team in Class 4A, and now they find themselves conference championships winners. And now a school record for Ayanna Patterson, who broke the school record for most points in a game, 43.
Definitely a standout game for her. Ayanna Patterson found herself 43 points. Stood down that game. Of course, it comes against your rival Southside. Anytime you're playing your rival and you beat them and you put up 43 points, you got to be feeling good about yourselves, and what a record that is for Ayanna to break.
Yeah, 43 points for Ayanna Patterson, and a big upset for the Northside boys. They defeated 3A's number 5 team, the Leo Lions, on Monday, 72-68, handing the Lions their first loss of the season.
I thought when Northside played Homestead, they shot the ball well. They didn't have the points, and Homestead was up by 20 points maybe at halftime. They didn't have the points to show for it, but I thought Northside, they showed a lot of great shooting in that first half against Homestead. I thought they played a good game against Homestead. I knew they were going to be tough, and they get that upset win against Leo.
And the season is winding down for boys basketball. Homestead with just 4 games remaining in the regular season, and the Spartans surely have a shot to head into the postseason with a perfect record. But they first have to get through the Royals of Hamilton Southeastern.
Excited to go down to Indy next Saturday for that game. That's going to be a fun one down in Indy. Playing in Indy school, those games are always the games you get up for. And then you got to finish the year with Carroll SAC matchup.
And as for the Peru Tigers, they have 7 remaining games after today. They're looking to win their first sectional championship in 12 years, and this may be the year they do it. In fact, a few weeks ago, this game wasn't even on the schedule for either of these schools. In an effort to play some of the tougher competition, and since both team schedules had an opportunity to allow one more game, they came to the agreement to play today's game. Surely, Chris, you have to think this game helps Peru prepare for the postseason.
That's what this is all about, preparing for the playoffs. And then Twin Lakes. Twin Lakes is in their sectional, so that's definitely a game that Peru's going to get up for.
And we're going to take one last break, but stay tuned. The second half of play coming up right after this break. We are live here at Spartan Arena, getting set for the second half of this out-of-conference matchup. After one half of play, Homestead up 42-25, and it's Peru who's going to start off with the ball, looking to cut into the lead Homestead has built up over the last 16 minutes of play. Ross has it for the Tigers out of the break. Now Curtis with it at the top of the key. Gonna give it to Townsend. Looks and finds Rucker down low. Thought about the shot over Simmons. Passes out to Curtis instead. He takes a screen from Ross. Double team now. Ross finds some space and a clean pass to Beller, but blocked by Andrew Leeper. A great defensive play, and now it's Homestead who has it. Goody at the perimeter. Heaves it to Leeper, finds some space and gets the jumper to fall at the mid-range. That's Andrew Leeper. Up to double digits now. That's 3 Spartans in double digits.
That's a good defense to offense transition right there, getting the turnover and then coming down, hitting it too.
And Peru on the other end, hitting the shot. That's another one for the Tigers. Townsend, he's up to 9 points with that one. Response from Homestead. Goody takes a 3, no good. Lawyer with the offensive board. Almost lost it, almost stolen by Rucker. Gets it clean to Simmons. His shot, no good inside the paint. Offensive board by Simmons. Takes a layup, and Beller with the rebound for the Tigers. 3 on 4, and Rucker takes a 3, no good. Lawyer grabs the board for Homestead. When he found Simmons wide open in the corner, swish for Grant Simmons. That's 8 points for number 32, and it's 47-28.
Homestead has definitely engraved the fact that they can run transition and run it well. They just did it right there, finding the open 3. Homestead, that's one thing they bring with their offense, is the ability to score in transition. They do it really well.
In the transition, they always seem to find the extra pass or to get the 3-pointer. Just a great team when they're running down the court.
That's something Coach Johnson likes to see, is their ability to run in transition. A lot of Homestead teams have been able to do that, but this one this year has been able to just move in transition.
Beller takes 3 for Peru off the front of the iron, gets his own board. And he stepped out of bounds in the effort to keep the ball in Peru's hands. He'll go to Homestead instead.
Beller had a great first quarter right there. Hit a couple threes there in that first quarter, so he's helping Peru stay in the game, and now he needs to heat back up to get Peru back into the game.
He was a key part to Peru keeping the game close through the first quarter of play. Lawyer misses the shot down low, so now Peru running things down the court. It's Curtis with it in the paint, passes out to Rucker. Right back to Curtis at the perimeter. Slowing it down a little bit, trying to get the offense going. Beller with it. Gives to Townsend. Peru just passing things around here. And it's going to end in almost a steal. Fletcher Lawyer almost had it, but he stepped on the baseline, so it will stay with Homestead. Actually, it appears to go off his foot.
Homestead not afraid to play aggressive.
And there's a bucket down low for the Tigers as they get out of their scoring funk with a bucket by Matt Ross. Now Homestead with it. Leeper had some space, thought about the shot, pass to Lawyer, and it's a turnover forced by Matt Ross. Pass cross court will end up in the hands of Peru. Curtis with it. Between the logo and the paint. Gives to Rucker. Colping almost got in the way of that pass. Will go cleanly to Townsend. Now Beller with it, takes a 3 at the top of the key. Got nothing but air, and it will go to Homestead.
Homestead now with the opportunity to just extend their lead. Peru going on a little bit of a cold streak here, not hitting the shots that they were hitting early on in the first quarter, so Homestead needs to take advantage.
They're looking to extend their lead up 17. They have controlled so far this second half. Foul called on the Tigers. That'll be on Rucker. So inbound underneath the basket coming up for the Spartans, and Rucker's going to hit the bench with Robbins checking in for the Tiger. Lawyer inbounds to Goody. Over to Leaper at the top of the key. And tried to find Simmons. A miscommunication between Andrew Leaper and Grant Simmons. That'll end up in a turnover as the pass sails over his head.
Homestead's done that a couple times, just not finding the open man or throwing it to an open space and not finding anyone. So Homestead needs to clean that up down the stretch of the season.
Now Peru with it. Robbins gives to Ross. Goes inside, working Leaper. Finds Robbins, thought about the three. Right back to Ross. His shot blocked by Leaper. Scrum for the rebound ends up with Homestead. Great effort by number 22. Lawyer on the other end for three. Off the back of the iron. Off the money, and now Peru with it. Curtis at the top of the key. So far, been all about the three-pointers for both these teams. 6 of 15 for Peru. Homestead 6 of 13. Now Peru working the inside as Curtis gets the layup. A fast break for Homestead will end up out of bounds. They'll say it was off of the Tigers.
Homestead needs to calm down right here. Don't want to do too much on offense. You're still up by 15. Just need to calm down and work it on offense.
Yeah, both teams for this last minute or so pushing the pace a little too fast. A lot of turnovers. Not the smartest decisions between these two teams in the last few minutes. There's Goody drawing contact down low. A hard foul given inside the paint. They'll call that one on Matt Ross, so Goody go into the charity stripe.
Luke Goody already 3 of 3 from the free throw line today. See how he does here with these two.
Yeah, he's had a great stretch of games last season, 17.6 points per game, and he has really improved up to 20.9 now as a senior, and he gets that first free throw to fall. Up to 11 points. Second most points from the Spartans so far. And Matt Ross hits the bench for the Tigers. He's been a key role to Peru keeping this game close, and Goody hits that second free throw. 2 of 2 at the line is the 6'5" junior. Or 6'7" senior. Andrew Leaper would be the 6'5" junior. Curtis has it for Peru. Now Townsend with it at the top of the key. Hesitates, thought about the three. Goes inside, takes a shot over Lawyer, and tight defense from the Purdue commit. We'll give it to Homestead. Simmons down low, bucket over the head of Matthew Rucker. As Grant Simmons working the paint, now he's up to double digits.
Simmons always been able this whole season to get down low and create opportunities down low for Homestead. Just did that right there. He creates a presence down low for Homestead, something that they've looked for all year.
And a foul called by the Spartans on the defensive end. That'll be on Lawyer. That's Homestead's first foul of the third quarter. They've played a fairly clean second half so far, outside of a few miscues, few turnovers. Curtis with it now at the logo. Gives over to Townsend. He kicks it to Rucker. Working the perimeter a little bit. Curtis thought about the three, goes inside, spins around on Simmons, takes a shot, no good. Tight defense from Grant Simmons, and Homestead has it now. Goody gets some open space, takes the layup. A great play by Luke Goody. He was in the air almost his entire time in the paint and gets the layup. Now Peru with it. Is Robbins given to Beller. Over to Townsend at the perimeter. Peru really focusing on the three-point arc in this one so far. It's where they've been mostly on the offensive end. Curtis has it now. Goes inside. Shot over Lawyer. No good. Rebounded by Simmons. Homestead ball. Running up tempo cross court. Goody wide open. Extra pass to Lawyer. He takes a three. No good. Just short. Now Peru has it.
Peru going to look to settle down here. Just under a minute left, so look for Peru to just settle it down on offense.
Yeah, they find themselves down 21. Perhaps just looking to end this third quarter with some points. Townsend takes a shot inside. Offensive board by Townsend. Takes another one, no good. Goody grabs it for Homestead. Running it up the court, gets a shot. No good, nothing but air. Simmons has it now after the rebound. His three-pointer no good. Homestead just keeps grabbing the offensive board, and now they might just hold it.
Good offensive rebounds right there by Homestead, getting the offensive rebounds and giving themselves an opportunity to get the last shot here.
First, Peru's going to foul Fletcher Lawyer. Foul will be on Rucker, his second of the game. So now an inbound coming up for the Spartans. Peru just 3 fouls in this one so far, not near the bonus, but halfway, about halfway there. Harmon takes the inbound, gives to Simmons. 10 seconds left. Now Goody with it. Might just hold for the last shot. Takes a three-pointer. Off the side of the iron, no good. Now ends the third quarter as we head into the fourth with Homestead up 53-32.
Rethink your limits.
Fourth quarter play coming up. So far, Homestead in control of this one. 21-point lead over the visiting Peru Tigers. 53-32. Not much Peru can do really to come back. Only 8 minutes left in this game. Just looking to gather some momentum.
Well, like you said, this game's mainly about just beefing up your schedule before you get in the postseason. Peru just trying to get an experience playing the #1 team in 4A and number 16 in the country. Just an experience game for them.
And Luke Goody's having a great game so far for the Spartans, 14 points. And like you said, Peru, this was a great decision by Coach Thompson to put the Spartans on the schedule, face such a strong team, get your team prepared for postseason play. Goody spinning around inside and gets the layup to fall. A great play by number 20. He's up to 16 points, 55-32 now.
Luke Goody able to get down low. He does a good three-point shooter, but has the ability. His mid-range jump shot is, one of the best I've seen. It's really smooth. So Luke Goody, an all-around really good player for Homestead.
Yeah, he's bound for Illinois. Big Ten bound athlete. He's done a great job in his career at Homestead. And there's Curtis on the other end for Peru. Getting the bucket. He's up to double-digit now. Lawyer, he takes a three for Homestead. No good. Offensive board by Quinn Harmon. Now Goody with it. In the paint, gives to Simmons. His shot blocked, but Lawyer responds, getting the layup and the putback. So Homestead will end that possession with some points. Lawyer up to 17. Now Peru with it, looking to get their first points for their second bucket of the fourth quarter. That pass off the foot of Robbins, so Homestead ends up with it now. Lawyer takes the three, no good. Rebounded by Harmon. Homestead ball. Sims will take one at the top of the key. Off the money, and a foul called on the Spartans in the effort for the rebound.
Just getting a little too aggressive down there. Lawyer going for that offensive rebound and getting a little too aggressive for the officials' liking.
Now it will be on Fletcher Lawyer as he enters foul trouble. You hardly ever see him in that kind of situation, but he's got 3 fouls now. Now Peru taking it up the court. Nice and slow. Curtis has it. He gives to Robbins. Almost intercepted by Lawyer, who's been doing that all night long. Curtis has it now for the Tigers. It is Colping who ends up getting the steal for Homestead. Fast break, Leaper has it. Slam dunk by Andrew Leaper. Oh my, over Cash Beller.
What a dunk right there by Leaper getting up and then dunking on Nobella right there. So that's a great dunk by Leaper. Like we said, he's had a tough couple games, so he's finally getting it back, and that's good for Homestead getting him back.
Yeah, put that one on a poster. What a jam by Andrew Leaper. Now Peru looking to respond. Curtis takes a shot inside off the backboard and in. That's Trayden Curtis down low doing some work. Simmons takes a quick outlet pass for Homestead, and ball in the air. Now Curtis with the steal for Peru, and his shot no good off the bottom of the iron. Now Homestead with it. Goody, some space. Will take a jumper at the mid-range. Got it. Luke Goody getting the nice jumper up to 18 points now.
Luke Goody, like I said, he's a great asset to this Homestead team. Him and Fletcher Lawyer feed off of each other. They both always have great games. So Homestead definitely a really good team and looking for a big postseason run this year.
Yeah, they've had a strong game against a ranked 3A squad. They're really stepping it up now. Goody with it at the perimeter for Homestead. Goes inside, takes a shot. With the contact, that one will fall. And Andrew Leaper, what a dunk on that last possession.
Great dunk right there by Leaper. That's definitely one, like you said, you put that one on the poster.
Yeah, and it's back-to-back solid possessions for Homestead as Leaper got the posterizing dunk, followed by Goody getting an and one for Homestead. Both those two having great games. Goody with 21, Leaper 12. Now Peru taking it across the court. It's Curtis. Guarded at the perimeter by Kolping. Gives to Rucker. Now Ross with it. He gives right back to Curtis. Scans the court. Finds Ross at the perimeter. Losing control of it on the ground. Goody trying to steal it. And he's stuck on the floor, so Coach Thompson will call a timeout. 64-36. Homestead just looking to wrap this one up. And with so many games remaining in boys basketball, eyes are on the postseason. The Spartans, they'll compete in the Wayne sectional with 5 other schools, 3 of which Homestead has defeated once already this season, and will have played 4 of 5 teams when sectionals begin. The real test will be in regionals, in which the Carroll and the Marion sectionals feed into the Logansport regional.
We know what the big matchup there in that sectional is going to be Homestead-New Haven. New Haven knocked them off last year in that sectional championship, so that's going to be the matchup. But then, this regional right here is loaded. You got Carmel, Lafayette, Jeff. Out of those other regionals, Carroll coming in. I think a lot of that regional boils down to the draw and who you play in the morning. I think that's what a lot of that regional boils down to.
Yeah, the Carmel Greyhounds are seen as the biggest threat in the regional final. And Peru's possession now, the timeout, no points on it. Goody tries to get some for Homestead. Three-pointer no good. Now Lawyer will take one after the offensive board and got it at the top of the key. Fletcher Lawyer, he's up to 20 points. What a game he's been having.
Lawyer's definitely a standout player for Homestead. A big asset for Homestead.
They'll call a kickball violation on the Spartans. They'll stay with the Tigers. And ahead on the OPS postgame report, we will send things down to sideline reporter Jenna Lane for an interview with a star Spartan. Then we'll break down stats and stars from today's game and a final analysis of today's matchup. It's all coming up on the OPS halftime or postgame report. Now Curtis has it for Peru. He'll give it to Townsend. Peru just slowing things down on this possession. Ross will take a shot over Goody inside, and he got it to fall. That's Matt Ross getting the bucket. 6 points now. He's got Lawyer will take a 3 for Homestead, and a quick response by Fletcher Lawyer and the Spartans. 23 points now, the leading scorer. And here comes the bench as Homestead up 70-38 over the Spartans, as Coach Johnson believes this one has been well put away.
Nice to see the Homestead bench come in here, see what they can do. Being put in with 3 minutes left, you get to see a lot more of them than normally. A minute left in the game. Now they get 3 minutes to show out.
Fani Ezekuto, Max Schiltz, Grady Swing, Luke Markham, and Kyron Kalbwicki now out on the floor for Homestead. Peru going to keep their lineup out there. Eli Walters, the only player checking in for the Tigers during that break. Curtis has at the perimeter for Peru, passes to Walters. He'll give right back to Curtis at the logo. Takes a screen from Walters, drives inside, and before the shot, a foul called on Kalbwicki. And Fletcher Lawyer, he's been having a great game today. 23 points, 5 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Fletcher Lawyer, great game today. 23 points. Adding to this Homestead, big win today. 23 out of 70, so he had a great game.
And Peru goes up empty on that possession. Townsend shots no good. Now Homestead with it. Ezecuto doing some work, drives inside, and tight defense from Eli Walters forces the ball out of bounds. He'll stay with Homestead. Matt Ross gonna check in for Eli Walters. So everybody except Kosh Beller on the starting lineup out there for the Tigers. Ezecuto has it, passes to Kalbwicki. Now Schiltz actually swing with it. Now it's Markham with it. Gives to Schiltz. And stolen. Got his pocket picked by Trayden Curtis, so now Peru with it. On the baseline, he feeds it to Matt Ross. Ball goes out of bounds. They'll say it was off of Matt Ross. It will go to Homestead.
Including Fletcher Lawyer in here. This is supposedly the projected lineup for next year's team. Like I said, with the likes of Fletcher Lawyer coming in. But other than that, this is probably the lineup we're going to see next year.
It'll be an interesting team to watch next season with Luke Goody, one of the stars of this team, leaving for Illinois along with Grant Simmons. Two key components to the starting lineup that'll be gone. Now Homestead with it after the turnover. Markham takes a shot in and out, rebounded by Ezecuto. And as he was falling to the ground, tried to get a pass off, but instead, they'll call travel, Homestead ball, or Peru ball. Minute 22 left, Homestead up big, the 32-point advantage. Peru probably just looking to get some final minute buckets, and they do right there with Townsend from beyond the arc. He's got 12 points, the leading scorer for the Tigers tonight. Now Homestead with it. It's Kalbwicki. Drives inside, gets a shot over Walters, the fall. Kyron Kalbwicki, he gets on the board for the first time tonight.
It's a good drive right there by Kalbwicki, cutting to the basket, making a move and throwing it up for layup. It was a really good move there by Kalbwicki.
On the other end, Townsend takes another three. This time it's off the money, so Homestead running it down the court. It's Schiltz looking for some space inside, gives it to Markham, and he draws contact on the way up. So Luke Markham going to the line.
Good pass right there from Schiltz, feeding it to Markham and giving him the chance to get a bucket, and draws the foul.
Luke Markham, the junior for Homestead. Like you said, he'll probably be one of the starters next season. This is that first free throw, so here comes the Peru bench. Both teams putting their squads out. Ian Potts and LaKendrick Forrest checking in among several others for the Tigers. Second free throw off the front of the iron. Offensive board by Max Schiltz. So we'll stay with Homestead. Ezecuto drives inside. Bucket blocked by Walters. So now Peru with it. Under half a minute left. Ezecuto tips it, but they'll call a reach in on Ifani Ezecuto. Inbound coming up at the half-court stripe for Peru. possibly the final possession for the Tigers of this game. Walters stuck from beyond, passes to Shelter, and he'll end up in a steal, and now it's Grady Swing getting the bucket on the other end, and now wrap things up. Homestead, the #1 team in the state, they'll stay that way. 74 to 41, the victory over number 13, Peru.
It's a good win right there by Homestead, putting up the offensive numbers. They did a great job. Peru, like we said, Peru definitely putting this game on the matchup just so they can have a tough matchup on their record before they get into the postseason.
Yeah, great effort from Peru. Certainly an important game for them to play as they prepare for the tournament. Homestead, just another solid victory for the Spartans. And we're going to kick it down to Jenna Lane, who's with Grant Simmons after his 10-point game. Jenna?
Thanks, Brayden. I'm here with senior Grant Simmons, and you had a less than 24-hour turnaround from last night's game at Northrop. You were able to beat a ranked 3A team tonight, so how would you assess your team's play?
I mean, I assess it as great. I mean, anytime you come out and beat a good team, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
And we know both Luke and Fletcher are first scoring options for this team, but you've been that third scoring threat all year. What's it like playing within this offense?
I mean, anytime you have two D1 players, they're going to take most of the shots, but I just have to make the most of my opportunities, and I feel like I do that.
And 18-0 on the season, #1 in all of the polls. How happy are you with where the Spartans are now?
I mean, I'm very happy. I mean, you can't get better than what we are, #1 in every poll, so.
And you have 1 week off until your next game. What does the team need to do to get better?
We need to handle pressure a little bit more, stop turning the ball over as much as we are, and that's about it.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Brayden, back to you.
Thank you, Jenna. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have team stats and players of the game. You're watching the OPS post-game show on Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
And welcome back live to Homestead High School for the OPS post-game show. Taking a look at some of the team stats from the game. And it was really all Homestead through this entire game. It was close through half of the first quarter, but then the Spartans really took over.
Yeah, Homestead, you're only shooting 48%. Coach Johnson probably going to see that number go up. And the three-point, 8 to 7. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that, but 8 to 7 in that round. But rebounds, 39-17. That's something that stands out, throughout the whole season, is Homestead being able to out-rebound the team, and not only out-rebound the team by 10 to 12, they're out-rebounding them by, like this, 20 plus. So Homestead does a great job battling for those rebounds.
Yeah, 39 rebounds in one game compared to 17 for the Tigers. Just a great effort for the Spartans. They also were able to minimize turnovers all game long, only 7.
That's something that, like Grant Simmons said, you want to clean up. Come postseason time, you want to be able to clean up the turnovers. 7 turnovers, that is good. They're not as high, but that's something that, when you get to the tournament, you need to not turn the ball over so much, because if you do, that's going to cost you, especially in that tough regional Homestead's going to have to play in.
Yeah, but this was a great game as they continue to prepare for postseason play. And now our players of the game for the Homestead Spartans, able to corral a 74-41 victory. It was all about Fletcher Lawyer and Luke Goody, who had some fantastic showings. 23 for Fletcher Lawyer, 21 for Goody.
Great game by both those players. Luke Goody was 6 of 6 from the free throw line. 100% from the free throw line. Got to be happy with that. Lawyer adding in 23 points, 5 of 11 from 3. Those definitely the two standout players. Anytime a team's got to prepare for Homestead, they're going to be looking at those two players. So got to watch for the 3, 4, 5 players to step up as well.
Yeah, just once again, another fantastic game from those two who really stepped up and had a fantastic showing against the Tigers. Any final thoughts from you, Chris, on tonight's matchup?
On the next Saturday, go down to Indy. That's going to be a fun one anytime you play an Indy school. Well, that's a fun game to watch. They definitely play some tough competition down there in Indy, so got to get up for that game, and a week off, and to be back Saturday, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, Hamilton Southeastern, it's the next test of the year for the Spartans. Number 1, Homestead travels south to take on the Royals of Hamilton Southeastern next Saturday. You can listen in to the action on the 91.1 FM or online at wcyt.org. Join Chris and Matt on the call with tip-off set for 1:30 p.m. and the OPS pregame report taking the air about 10 minutes prior. Again, that's next Saturday down in Indy. And the next Homestead Live broadcast won't be until February 9th when Homestead hosts Wayne in the SAC matchup. The Homestead girls begin postseason play on Tuesday as they take on the Wayne Generals in a game with tip-off set for 6 p.m. If Homestead beats Wayne on Tuesday, they would take on Columbia City on Friday at 6 in a sectional semifinal matchup. And should Homestead beat Columbia City on Friday, the Spartans would then play in the sectional championship on Saturday against Southside, New Haven, or Huntington North. For Chris Kohrman, Jenna Lane, and the entire Homestead Live crew, this is Brayden Carroll saying so long from Homestead. This has been a presentation of Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.